Hello, everybody. How you have? Good day, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you've seen this video. I got a video I want to show you that uh, that's going to really open up your eyes. That's what's really going on in America. The seen, the unseen, the heard, the unheard. Some people try to hide it, and now our own president is coming forth with it. It's very bold. It's very in your face. And some people gonna be surprised. Now, if you're a black Christian or MAGA and Patriot and all that, you might want to turn in on this one, because this is gonna come out who Black MAGA voted for. And if you can't put two and two together, then I don't know what to tell you, because this is coming from the president's mouth himself. I'm sorry. I gotta keep putting on this. It's gonna come from the president's mouth. Shout out to Afro Synergy.
They were born to be criminals. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals. Frankly, they were born to be criminals.
Now, those are the words of U.S. President Donald Trump. Where did he get those words from? Where did he get that ideology from? Where is the origination of that ideology that so many white Americans, white Europeans actually embraces? Where did it come from? For decades, I've indicated who originated that lie about black people. I told you who. Now I'm also going to do so again. Let's take a look at that. It was Solomon ben Isaac of Belgium, known as Rabbi Rashi, a false Jew, a pretender, the one that Christ talked about in Revelation 2:9 and Revelation 3:9, where he said, I know the blasphemy of those who say that they are Jews, but they are not, but they are of the synagogue of Satan, of the devil. And then in Revelation 3:9 also, I'm going to make them come and fall down at your feet. Whose feet? The so-called Negro. And let them know I have loved you. I know about the tribulations you've gone through. I know about all of that. I know about the poverty. I know about the lies that have been told upon you. I know about how they put you on an island, San Tome, stripped you of all things, of your clothing, left you there naked, and then proclaimed that you, your people, would be naked. Well, who stole your clothing? Who stole your wealth? Who stole your resources? Who stole that? Who's still stealing that and trying to steal it? Who? So let's deal with the words of the false Jew. I know the blasphemy of those who say that they are Jews, but they are not. They are the synagogue of the devil. I will make them come and fall down at your feet. Let them know that I have loved you. So let's deal with this. What did Rashi say? He said this was a false Jew of Belgium, the same country where King Leopold was from. And we know what King Leopold did to black Africans. But Rashi, he was the one who told the lie, the big, big lie. He said, now I cannot beget the fourth son, whose children I would have ordered to serve you and your brothers. Therefore, it must be Canaan, your firstborn, whom they enslaved. And since you have disabled me, doing ugly things in the blackness of night, Canaan's children shall be born ugly and black. Ugly and black. All of this is a lie. And they tried to use the Bible to support this nonsense. Okay? He went on to say, moreover, because you twisted your head around to see my nakedness, your grandchildren's hair shall be twisted into kinks, race. Now, check that out. Now, men of this race, who we're talking about? Men of this race shall be called Negroes. Their forefather Canaan, you know, the grandson of Noah, the biblical Noah, their forefather Canaan commanded them to love theft and to love fornication. To be banded together, that means united. They don't want you united. Banded together in hatred of their masters. Christ said, call no man rabbi and call no man father. Rabbi means master. They will hate their masters and never tell the truth. But what are they talking about? They're talking about themselves, the false Jew. Perpetual liars. We see Netanyahu. We see he's buddy-buddy with Donald Trump. It is these people who have taught New Yorkers like Donald Trump this lie about black people. Now, when you destitute a people, when you try to starve out a people, when they have no food, they have no future, some of them are going to be criminals. But who had their thumb, who had that thumb on that scale to make that happen, to make that so, to help turn them into criminals? Who? It is you, you lying devils. What did Christ say about you? He said, yeah, your father is a liar. That's what you do. You lie like your father, the devil. What does the devil come to do? To steal, to kill, to destroy. We see exactly what is happening in Palestine. We see what you're doing to the Palestinians. We see it, but it happened to us first. The Palestinians are our cousins. They are the ones who remained there. They are the ones who, through miscegenation, some of them, many of them look the way they look right now, where their skin is a little bit lighter. Some of them, not all of them. We know who you are and who you are not. Speaking to Netanyahu's clan, the Ashkenazim, we know who you are.
Don't get back to make another video what he said.
The United States of America, a white homeland, that dream is dying. If it walks and quacks like a duck, it is a duck. Such is Senator Eric Schmitt. He claims his religion as being Roman Catholic. However, his walk and his quack is that of a so-called Jew. He is a card-carrying member of the American Jewish Congress, a religious shapeshifter. In European history, there was a time when it was popular for Ashkenazim to shapeshift from being Jewish to being Roman Catholic or Protestant Christian. I recall the late Paul Mooney once saying President Abraham Lincoln was placed on the penny because most white Americans did not think he was worth a dime. It was Lincoln who proclaimed on November 19, 1863 at Gettysburg that 77 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now here comes Senator Eric Schmitt of the state of Missouri. He has declared that Lincoln was wrong. Schmitt, who is totally in agreement and in lockstep with all of the crimes committed in Palestine by Netanyahu and his Ashkenazim clan, he opposes BDS. He opposes any deal with Iran. He supports unlimited funding of Israeli Iron Dome, which Iran exposed as weak. Schmitt also supports unlimited U.S. support to the Israeli settler colony. Schmitt asks the question, what is an American? He then proceeded to answer his own question, indicating the United States is fundamentally not based on the idea of equality or freedom or any other ideal, nor is it accessible to people of all races and religions. It is fundamentally a white homeland. That is no different than what Netanyahu's clan promotes in Palestine. That's the quack and the walk of a duck. Schmitt then says that white Europeans who settled America and conquered the West believed they were forging a nation nation, a homeland for themselves and their descendants. That's exactly what the white Polish-derived Netanyahu espouses in Palestine. Schmidt says, whites fought, they bled, they struggled, they died for us. They built this country for us, America. In all its glory is their gift to us, handed down across the generations. It belongs to us. It's ours, our birthright, our heritage, our destiny. Now, if America is everything and everyone, he says, then it is nothing and no one at all. But we know that's not true. America is not a universal nation, he says. In other words, it's only for the ducks. It's only for white people. He quacks like a duck, just like Netanyahu. He lies like Netanyahu. In Trump's first term, he worked out a deal in what is called the Abraham Accords, where he convinced the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and other Arab Gulf states to recognize the white established settler colony state of Israel. Netanyahu's clan lied and said it would drop its goal of taking West Bank and taking Gaza by force, annexing it into the settler colony. This year, Netanyahu, similar to the lies white Americans told the Native Americans in broken treaties, declared it was going to annex Gaza and the West Bank. The United Arab Emirates then threatened to back out of the Abraham Accords. This triggered a refrain from Netanyahu. In Palestine, Palestinians are not recognized as full citizens, no different than how Schmidt's forefathers looked upon Africans who were the actual primary builders of America through their blood, through their tears, through the whiplashes of those who are similar to Netanyahu, who are similar to Schmidt. Again, Schmidt, in a non-subtle dog whistle type of way, what is an American, he says? He says America is for a white person. America is a white homeland that organically binds together white people of the past, the present, and the future. And its policies must be guided for their benefit, the benefit of white people, if they are to succeed. The writing is on the wall, as was the interpretation to Babylonian King Nebuchadnezzar as spoken by the Hebrew prophet Daniel. Your kingdom has been weighed in the balance, and it has not measured up. Therefore it shall fall. So many white Americans are nervous. They see and feel it. Many of them have recoiled into secluded areas behind mountains and forests and built underground bunkers, believing they will thrive as the maelstrom grows in America. Homeowners walking away from houses because of rising insurance rates, rising property rates, and homeowner association fees rising. Potential home buyers changing their minds about purchasing a home because of doubling in home prices. The writing is on the wall. The American dream for white people is quickly dying.
Definitely been laughed at, mobbed. People are like, that's just
black people who do or do not commit a homicide in a given year of the United States. What you find is 99.99876% of the white population commits no murder in a given year, and 99.99328% of the black population commits no murder in a given year. The narratives surrounding these issues of murder or any other type of violent crime always deal with comparing perpetrators versus perpetrators instead of the race, one race, like the entire demographic of people in one, they could be race or gender or whatever, the entire demographic versus the other entire demographic. Because we spend so much of our time talking only about specific cases and only the perpetrators, it kind of inflates our sense of how much of this is going on in one group versus another. What we should probably all realize and understand is that crime is extraordinarily rare in any demographic. And for something like murder, it's positively microscopic. This is true of race, this is true of sex and gender, it's true of political party. So what you can say to one of these people is you can propose the sidewalk situation or whatever, and you can ask them, do you think it's true that 99.99% of the time it makes no difference? I promise you they will say no, but that is the answer. Now to be clear, the 99.99, that comes from comparing the total population of whites that never commit any homicide versus the total population of blacks who never commit any homicide, and comparing how similar are those numbers. And it's specifically 99.989996%. Now here is probably the more powerful example of
The reason why he said that, because this idiot who he's going to put up said this.
representation. There are slight differences. But no, I'm from South Dakota. I now live in California. I'm not an immigrant. Neither is somebody who comes to the States from Puerto Rico.
What we need, if we're going to succeed as a nation, we need many things. First and foremost, we need repentance of our sin and turning in faith to the Lord Jesus Christ. But in terms of practicalities, political solutions, we need men in office. We need them not to be Jewish or Islamic or anything else, but Christian men in office. And we need them to be American Christian men in office.
Okay, well, there go several U.S. presidents, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, James Monroe. They were either openly or almost assuredly deists. Many of them refused to take communion if they were ever dragged into church. Both Adams were Unitarians, so was Millard Fillmore, so was Taft. And Unitarians, according to people like Joel, are absolutely not Christians. But also, the first 8 U.S. presidents were born in British colonies, because the United States didn't exist yet. So in Joel's logic, if someone from Puerto Rico doesn't count, then the first 8 U.S. presidents certainly don't count. It's actually their citizenship status with respect to the United States is actually a lot worse. There's a particular article in the Constitution that grandfathered them in, but it was just something they made up because they had to. They had no other choice. Otherwise, the United States wouldn't be able to elect a president for many decades out until somebody was old enough.
I have a dream, brothers and sisters. It's a simple dream. I don't feel like it's that big of an ask, right? There's other things we could get more technical. I've talked in more specificities about my position in the past, but if I could just have 3 things, it would be this. When it comes to the political rulers, the civil magistrate in our nation, I would like them to be Christian American men.
Harry loves hiking, but fleas and ticks are still out there even in cooler months.
Wow. You know what that means, right? That's coded word for white men. So this going back up with this. So this was going back what this man said. Shout out to Miss Deborah.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Well, I have a video that was shared with me. I can't wait to share it with you. Whenever we have seniors, our senior people dropping knowledge, truth bombs, I think it is important that we hear it. Because many times when you hear it coming from a young person, you just don't want to accept it. Not saying that it's automatically accepted when the senior says these things, but it adds another layer to it. It gives it more importance to me, in my opinion, when our seniors bring the truth that so many of us scream on the mountaintops. Anyway, this black senior man, he says we ain't never been free. And he also talks about how we basically can't do anything without them folks' permission. He said we ain't building nothing, we ain't manufacturing nothing, even production of food. I don't know if y'all remember this, but many years ago, in our little backyard farm that we had before relocating, I remember talking about this very issue, that we would be literally hit without them. And I say that because too many of us stay dependent on the system. We don't understand that we got to break away from this. We got to find another way. We have got to find another way. But we've become so complacent and so comfortable, we think that they're always going to be there. But this man, he's going to talk about how they are ushering in the immigrants. Yeah. That a lot of things that should be for so-called black folk is being funneled in another direction. Anyway, take a listen at what he has to say, and of course, you know I will be right back.
There's a reason nobody talks about.
We'll be right back.
Got 40 acres and a mule when they freed us. We ain't never been free. Oh, that's free what? Free to do what? That's free to go get a white man's job and go watch some football and watch some basketball and buy a little old jewelry. Free? Free to do what? You don't make no law. You don't manufacture nothing. You don't produce nothing. So where's your freedom at? And if the Negro don't have that white boy, he in trouble. He don't know how to eat. He don't know how to eat. The only way he don't know how to eat, he got to go fill out an application and got to go get that job, got to stay on that job and do what the master said to do. So giving us 40 acres would have been giving us too much power back then. They ain't going to give you That's why. They ain't gave you nothing in all these years. They give an immigrant or a refugee more than they give slave descent. Now they might give you something because you got a Nigeria. You consider the immigrant. I go up there and ask them something, well, yeah, I'll give you shit. You gotta still take what you want. Fuck you. Excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry.
No, please.
No, I'm sorry. But they ain't give you nothing. They ain't giving you nothing when they give you 40 acres of the mule. They come over here and took this land from the Indians. Now how they gonna give me something? This God's land. God put this land here for man. You done gathered it all up. Now you gonna dictate to what you gonna do on it too? That's 1700 law. Man, it don't work no more. Everybody over here now. Every tongue is in America. America's Babylon. And everybody hate one another. They all doing one another every kind of way. If a person got a country to go to, where's the culture? Where's the culture? Why did he leave that country where's the culture and to come over here where there ain't no culture? Especially, we ain't no culture. Black man ain't no culture. He gave up his culture. He didn't want to follow what the slaves done or what the slaves passed down. He did what Dr. King said do. He went and got that white boy's education. Now he that white boy. And he think that white boy is Superman. That white boy ain't Superman. Iran, Iraq, all these countries is rebelling against him right now. Putin would want to follow him so fast he don't know what to do.
Okay. So this is some hard, heavy-hitting truth. Now, towards the end, when he said something about these other nations are, starting to turn on them, and he said Putin wants to be able to let loose on him. He's looking forward to it, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but it reminds me of that Obadiah judgment, right? The book of Obadiah talks about how those that were once confederate with them are going to turn on them. Their allies. These people are going to turn on them. This was biblically prophesied. So those of you who think that you're on the winning side when you want to keep locking hands with people who have wreaked havoc all over the planet, you think that you're on the winning side, you had better think twice. Get in the Bible and find out biblical prophecy. Just because someone seems to be on the top right now, you have to understand what biblical prophecy says. It says the pride of a certain group of people's hearts have deceived them, so they think they will always be on top. This is what they think. And so because they think this way, they've kind of guided and led others into believing this way too. And so you have people who say, well, if you can't beat them, join them. Like the old fella said here, and I'm paraphrasing again, some of our people put them up on a pedestal like the sun and the moon rises upon their shoulders. You have actually given them the position of the Most High mentally. You may not say it, but your actions show that you have more reverence for them and their systems than you do for the promises of the Most High.
And I'm gonna say it right there, leave it right there, and that's very true. But this is the mindset of why we up under the condition that we are in. And I'm gonna show you the next video. There's gonna be 4 type of black people. There's like this. Shout out to the next video I'm gonna show you, and a shout out to the content creator. That he explains what the Negro was going through, and what's going on right now in this America. But you see how our president started this stuff, and what they really saying behind the back. Now, let's look at what. So they saying that, you know, blacks normally criminal. Okay, this is what he said, right? He said they grown up to be criminals. I'm about to show you a quick video right quick. I might go another. He said black people born to black basically black men. Watch this.
Assalamu alaikum. Thanks to all my subs and supporters who watch, like, share, and comment on the videos. It's greatly appreciated. Anybody who would like to support the channel, the link to my book, The N-Word is No Secret in the Service, is in the description of every video. We also have the Runaway Slave store, link in the description. Go grab yourself a souvenir or something like that. Matthew James Roof, a member of the white male community, 24 years of age, from Hanover, Pennsylvania. Now, just yesterday, this guy is responsible for this deadly ambush on police officers in North Codorus Township, okay? Now, this guy right here, Matthew James Roof, a real nutcase right here. The officers were serving him an arrest warrant for some charges of stalking, loitering, and prowling at night and criminal trespass. He was harassing his girlfriend, doing some old stalking stuff with his girlfriend, but when they were coming to serve that warrant, this guy right here was laying in a cornfield near his ex-girlfriend's house, and he just opened fire with his AR-15, killed 3 officers right there, critically injured 2 others, one of them being a police dog. A police dog is considered, or the K9 is considered an officer, okay? He has been out on his property wearing camouflage days earlier, using binoculars, looking at his ex-girlfriend's home. A real sick dude. His ex-girlfriend told police that she believed that he set her truck on fire and all this other nonsense. They have him on camera from months ago, I think like last month or months before that. They have a camera footage of him with a rifle walking around near the residence. This guy's a real sick dude. Got into a standoff with the police officers, and he just opened up. They say that this attack is one of the worst ambushes on law enforcement in Pennsylvania history, matching a toll of a 2009 incident where 3 other officers were killed. And the suspect in that 2009 deadly ambush is white American man by the name of Richard Poplowski, okay? So these are the people who are going around and taking police officers out of here. Just recently, last month, a guy by the name of Patrick Joseph White, member of the white community, he killed a DeKalb County police officer by the name of David Rose, okay? Now this brother David Rose was killed while responding to an active shooter near the CDC headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. Now this guy, Patrick Joseph White, he fired fired over 180 rounds at buildings. And he said that the CDC is responsible for his depression and pain. And he said that part of this was due to the COVID-19 vaccine, okay? So he goes to this place. I guess how he figured he could solve his problems. He starts shooting at the CDC multiple rounds. They got into an exchange, and his brother, Officer Rose, was shot, and he later died at Emory Hospital. They also found the suspect dead inside a CVS. They believe that he blew his own beak off. Now, this guy, Officer David Rose, he just joined the force. He just started in September of 2024 and graduated in March of 2025. So, only out there working for a couple of months. He's a Marine Corps veteran, father of two, third child on the way. And this is how this went down. This black man right here was protecting federal buildings. Nothing from the federal government for him. No half flags and none of that.
Nope.
This right here, just recently, white American man by the name of Ryan Michael Bate, 32 years of age, in Utah. Now, he just went on a rampage a month ago, left 2 officers dead and several others injured. Now, he opened fire on these officers for responding to a domestic disturbance at his house. These officers, Lee Sorensen, Eric Estrada, he critically injured another one by the name of Mike Alred, and also wounded Officer Azula, who is the dog. This guy right here beating the brakes off of his wife, attacked his wife, fired around at the neighbor for trying to intervene, and he's charged with 20 counts, including 2 counts of aggravated murder, 4 counts of attempted aggravated murder, domestic violence, unlawful detention, and assault. And they said that they want to seek the death penalty for this dude right here. Now, this white supremacist right here, he has a documented history of domestic violence. There was a woman who looked for a protective order against him in the year 2019. He was also arrested in 2021 for misdemeanor assault. That was dismissed. And in 2024, he was charged with aggravated assault and domestic violence in front of a child, but that was dropped again. Again, people, a lot of times when you see these white American men very violent, you know, going around, and they get caught up with something, and they say, oh, well, he doesn't have a record, or he was only arrested one time, whatever, or charged. A lot of times these guys have a crazy rap sheet with their whiteness. Due to their whiteness, they get over. And don't get it confused. White people do not care about white women, so these guys can go around, and they could beat the brakes off of women in the community, children, whatever, and, you know what I mean, not get arrested. That's how it goes down. This guy right here also, his family owned a firearm store, and he's a former bull rider.
The number 1 offender type is biological fathers, but by far it is being done by middle-aged Caucasian men. Many, over half of them, college graduates. Many of them are educated, good jobs. This isn't just who we're thinking about, like they're technical savvy, and I think that it is time that we call them out, like that. We can't stand by and stand back. Like, we have to stand up and say, not only are we not doing our job as men, it's actually the opposite. Instead of being defenders and protectors of our families, we're hurting and abusing.
Yeah, you won't see members of the white community walking around having a rally with their fists in the air saying fight that back, something they should be fighting back to protect children. You won't see that, okay? These guys right here will have a rally for white supremacists because that's all they really care about. They don't care about women, children. All they care about is being a racist and a white supremacist. That's it.
Yep, there's the proof right there, but it's easy for like Donald Trump to pass it on, and other people like that pastor can pass it on to something else. Then the problem of trying to find what is evil when it comes to, it's so evil to look at other people and other nationalities and other religions and other sexual orientations and sexual orientations or whatever. It's easy to point the finger, but you can't point the finger at yourself and take responsibility in your own community. Black people, one of the people, when we see something out, we call it out in the community. It has been called out online and everything. Someone act a fool overseas, somebody black say something about it. That's a fact right there. Act a fool, whether it's on the continent of Africa, it was a situation I was thinking earlier, and black folks call whatever it is, being a passport pookie or whatever. We call each other out, trust me. But how many white people call themselves out when they do stupid stuff? It might be a few here and there. It's so easy to pass the blame. And it's just the fact of it that even when they built an all-white town, where most of these where some of this stuff happens, where these cops was at, you don't hear nothing about it. And I bet you Southern people were probably a few years ago, back in 2021, that doing all the shooting was probably at the January 7th when they stormed the Capitol. How much you want to bet they was among that crowd? That Donald Trump said that they're good men. When they terrorized Charleston, South Carolina, when there were people practicing their religion, being Jewish. These are the same people saying, hold up tiki torches. He won't talk about that because they're good men. Good men that like him. Well, good men like him has caused, while they looking at demonizing and putting other men in unalive, put them in caskets for not obeying the law, for just speaking up. Meanwhile, they'll let the people like that have a break, try to go and negotiate why people like that take an officer's life. And then it'd be an excuse about, well, he was just having a bad day. Disregarding it. And that black officer didn't get a half life, but Charlie Kirk did. Charlie Kirk was not a politician. He wasn't a police officer. He wasn't a mayor, governor, nothing. But this guy who fought for guarded the government building didn't get half staff from Donald Trump or his administration. Protecting the United States government building. Let that sink in. And we said we don't have a problem with color. Let that sink in. When people that be patriotic, being a different nationality, protect the rights of this country, our own president don't even appreciate it. It has to look like the all-American image that look like somebody in his family. But he won't say something about this. He'll cut out the programs and everything, but won't say nothing about this. He'll blame it on other people, don't say. And the cost of the same mindset, I'm going to show you another video, it's costing America. It's put on other people in other parts where they try to get things done here and work side to side with helping America get back. And yet, they treat the worst treatment, Nazi style, when it came to other people and getting them out the country. Making them all criminalized. That try to bring help. That hurt the industries. Racism costs, don't it? It's easy to pass the blame, but look who's sharing the blame now. Look what the mindset's going from the pre-era. We can write some of these things out of history, but history is repeating itself. The 1920s, some of this happened in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and we have a president that want to keep that mindset and don't think nobody don't see it. These other people in America, all races seeing this. Even now people starting to see in other parts of the world, starting to see how America's past never left them when it comes to this topic, when it comes to different individuals visiting, spending money here, but it has to look like a certain image. Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation. This is what this produced. I also want to say about that. Take care, be blessed. See you on the next video.